Whoa!
Hi, guys.
Hi. Welcome to Tuesday with the Mavens. We're coming at you from my car, so I don't know how we're going to do this.
Why does my face look like that on yours? Do you put like some super shiny filter on me?
No. We look orange. Hi.
Sorry. As you can see, we don't totally plan ahead for this, but
We don't.
we're excited to be here.
Look funny. That's cute.
Yeah, look at that. Oh my gosh, I can't even look at myself.
These actually need to be filled. They need to come down a little bit. You guys, we are making it happen this week. We are coming at you from my Jeep, so sorry for that. It's not going to be ultra professional background, but you know what? We'll have ultra professional information.
Have we ever been ultra professional? I mean,
No.
that's
Our information is.
yeah, and dang it, we're good at what we do. So it's really just,
Yeah.
And this isn't new. If you've been with us since the beginning for a long time, like from our lives from last year, we used to live from the car every week.
All the time. Yeah.
And we're coming into like that kind of weather where we can't be outside and sick kids at the house.
We can be outside.
Well, I mean, like it was snowing at my house this morning. So, I mean, we could live from my snowy house.
We just need some bundle.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as bad weather. There's only bad gear.
Yep.
So anyway, that's beside the point. Actually, that is part of the point of one of the topics we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. Let's just start with this. First of all,
Hold on, there's a street sweeper going by.
we're going to talk about so many different things today. If you guys are just joining in, if you have questions, if you have anything you want to talk about, super open, super flexible, please put your questions down below.
We
will
can't
do our
see
best. Well, they'll pop up.
What you guys can't see is the phones are sitting like in this little cubby. So anyway, it is what it is today.
And we're talking to Instagram and Facebook, and we're going to actually jump into some meat here. But if you have anything that you want to join in on the conversation with, as always, please make sure you put it below. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
And we're going to jump into all sorts of things. We oftentimes do a deep dive on a particular topic, but we had a handful of things we wanted to talk about today. So here we are.
Wait, real quick. I find that when I look at you on the screen, I bump over to this screen. So I look at you like over there. That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry. Nobody cares about that except for me.
Okay, so it's the day after Halloween. Some of you it might have just been another day for you yesterday. A lot of you guys probably were out and about. Maybe you had a lot of exposure to goodies at work, or maybe with what you were making for kids or for family, or maybe trick-or-treating or whatever it may be. So first and foremost, if you are a macro tracker.
Wait a minute. I want you to raise your hand if you are an adult and you went trick-or-treating. No. Like you went to doors and said trick-or-treat and got candy?
Oh, no.
That's what I mean. Not like went trick-or-treating with your kids, but like, did any adults actually go trick-or-treating? I'm a small person, and sometimes I want to put on a mask and go trick-or-treating because it's not necessarily for the candy. It's fun. In fact, if you guys if you don't follow Emmy on her personal page, and you want to get a little taste of what her night was like, you should head over to her personal page and check it out because her son,
I'm getting it.
Wow. Her son, Scouty, knocked on a door, and then when the lady opened the door, he was doing the worm on her front porch. It was so awesome.
It was so fun. So one of the things we told my youngest, who's 10, and his buddies last night is that once the night got underway, we're like, okay guys, you tell people you'll give them a trick for a treat. And so they were doing the worm, they were doing shoulder rolls, they were doing a Russian dance.
Whoa.
They were like, yeah, and people loved it.
Yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah, especially most of the houses we went to happened to be like older folks, and it was really fun.
Yeah, so if you were an adult and you put on a costume and you hid your age from the people you were knocking on doors, I want to know because you're my people.
My friend Jody last night, she was dressed up as what is it? I'm not gonna do it justice. Anyway, she's so stinking cute, and everybody thought that she was her son's sister, and so they're like, "You're so cute."
Yeah,
like
you're Anyway, that's beside the point. We really want to talk about like what do you do with the decisions that you made from the night before. So Halloween tends to be, I don't want to call it a holiday. It's not necessarily a holiday, but it is a day when people feel like it's a free-for-all to eat all the candy and all the garbage that you want. And if you did that, and that's the choice you made, no big deal. If you are a macro tracker and you are feeling shame and regret and just kind of feeling bad about your choices, first of all, don't. Like,
let it go.
Own your choice and then move on. And also just know that it's a new day. Start fresh. Yeah. Don't try to make up for yesterday by under eating today. Just start fresh. Hit your numbers today and then move on. There is no time in our life to feel shame about what you eat. Yeah. I spent far too much time, feeling shame and guilty about eating something or indulging in something. And that just life is too short for that. So don't bother with that. Just move on.
I do think though, because it is like we work a lot. We worked on ourselves. We work with our clients on shifting the relationship with food. And when we say like, don't have shame in overindulgence, I do think that there's a component of that comes in with the education though, right? Like if we're educated in knowing how to appropriately fuel our bodies and our brains, when we make the decision from time to time to have something that's indulgent, then we need to just be like, it's worth it and move on and then hit your numbers the next day, or preferably fit it in, like really is where the best case scenario is. I think where the issue comes in is when there's an actual disordered eating, which is continual indulgence, and you don't feel your best and you don't have the tools to recognize how to properly fuel your body and your brain. So it might sound like we're talking out of both sides of our mouth.
Well, and well, it's not. I'm saying one thing and you're saying something else that I totally agree with.
Yeah.
But I think that's really true. You need to be the best judge of yourself and your own mindset and where you're at on this journey. And I told all of my clients yesterday, I was like, look, if you are planning on having a treat and that's part of your day, like track it. Like if you love Reese's peanut butter cups and you look forward to a Reese's peanut butter cup, just track it and then work around it. That's fine. Yeah. It's totally fine. And I love myself a caramel apple. I don't have them like every day of the year by any means, but like a caramel apple once a year, like, cause it's a treat and I look forward to it in the fall. Like that's fine. Yeah. I tracked it. It fit into my macros. No shame. The decision I made it and I was content and happy with it. And then, just move on. Yeah.
It's so interesting because I think our goal for our client, well, one of our many goals for our clients is food freedom. And so it's having the tools to really start to understand how to appropriately fuel your body and your brain, getting enough fuel for your body and your brain and how you want to be able to feel and how you want to be able to perform. Also, being able to not feel restricted and have the flexible metabolism so that you can have those things from time to time that you really enjoy and not have it derail you, but also know that you want to try to keep your inflammation down. And so it's all about balance, but it's a process in getting there, and then it's a process in getting to your ideal, let's say body composition, energy level, sleep score, all of those things, and then being able to maintain your goals while having a flexible metabolism so that those things don't derail you. Because years back, it was like an all or nothing for me. I'd have a little bit and then I'd want all of it. Like Easter rolls around, those Cadbury mini eggs, I'd eat the whole bag.
Ew, that is gross.
And it just, I would be inflamed. I'd feel awful. And like, then it's like, for what? Miss Heather says, sorry, I have to read it down here. No candy for me, dark chocolate peanut butter and oatmeal balls, and yummy caramel coffee for trick-or-treating.
It doesn't do anything when you touch the screen. She's trying to scroll so she can see it. I'm like, it's not doing anything except putting your big old thumb on the screen.
Yeah, I love that. I think that that's fantastic. And that's just it. Like, also find things that you really enjoy that are less inflammatory that you can fit in, because there's like good, nutritious, nutrient-dense food can taste delightful.
Amazing. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I love that. And I think that these are good tips to take you from now through the holidays too. I know a lot of people have a lot of anxiety around eating around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, and there's no reason for that. And we talk about it all the time. You've heard it from us if you've been around for a bit, but like, ask yourself before you indulge. Well, first of all, you should be tracking your food. So if you're pre-tracking your food, I cannot stand the way my face looks on your screen.
It's the weirdest thing. Get back.
I can't. There.
I think it was just the light on your face.
I don't know. Anyway, sorry. So distracting. I can't look at myself over there. I gotta go over here. So anyway, just ask yourself, like, is it worth it? How are you gonna feel 24 hours from now? Because you always, at least for me, if I choose to overindulge in something, most of the time the next day I'm like, why did I do that? I feel like garbage. It wasn't worth it. Sometimes it absolutely is worth it, but more often than not, I'm like, no, it wasn't worth it. It was like an instant gratification, a dopamine hit in the moment, but when it comes down to it, often it's not worth it. So ask yourself those questions, especially as we head into the holiday season. Yeah. There are treats everywhere. If you work in an office, if you work in a school, I know that people are bringing in treats, kids are bringing in candy, the staff room is full of all kinds of goodies. And it's not necessarily all about willpower as much as it is about pre-planning. Yes. If you have a plan in place and you are following that plan, it's real easy to just be like, it doesn't work into my plan. And then you just turn around and walk away. And then you don't have to feel like, oh my gosh, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, it's just plan for it or don't, And
it's not about restriction either, because I think that we've been so shaped by culture, right? That oftentimes around the holidays and fun parties and whatever, it's so food centered, and food is good, right? Food can be used as this incredible fuel for our bodies and our brains.
I mean, our whole business is based on food.
It is. But if you start really looking at how is that food going to serve you, it can be so powerful. So some examples of that would be, I think some people struggle with feeling like they are doing something different or have to give an explanation. First of all, you don't have to give an explanation to anybody.
Well,
go ahead.
Wait.
But second of all, if you want to, I think it's so healthy to say to our kids, to our families, to our coworkers, whoever it may be, if they're like, well, why are you going to eat that? Why are you dieting? It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. And saying something to the effect of, I'm figuring out what foods make me feel good. And if you focus on, for whatever reason, people seem to be so much more accepting of when you are trying to do something to help you feel better. I'm trying to figure out what gives me energy, what helps me sleep, what helps me feel better, versus like always trying to reach for this certain aesthetic, which is fine too. But it's just so accepted by people because it truly is a lifestyle change. It's really making those shifts to start focusing on things that you really enjoy.
Come over on this side a little bit.
And having those things, like when you're getting ready to go to a party, if it's a potluck, whatever it may be, like make something that is going to serve you, that you enjoy, that you can pre-track. Ask questions what might be there. Like, that's okay to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can set yourself up for success, have a delicious holiday season, still really enjoy yourself, and stay on track and actually make progress through this season. Because who doesn't want to wake up Christmas morning or go into the new year feeling really good, feeling really energetic, feeling very capable and strong and clear-headed and well-rested, and like we're going to be our best self. And when we overindulge in the season, which a lot of people do, you might get that immediate dopamine hit, but you are not going to have that long-lasting, sustained energy. You're going to be lethargic. You're going to be tired. You're probably going to be moody. Your libido's not going to be as high. You're going to be hormonally imbalanced. Like, food turns that trigger for all of us. And so, sure, fit the things in here and there, but find food that you enjoy, that serves you, and make sure that you have it in your environment. Like, that we create this suffering for ourselves, and for what?
Yeah, it's unnecessary.
It's stupid.
So dumb. Don't do that.
Stupid.
And if you see us out and about in town, let's say you run into Emmy at Trader Joe's, and I
run into a lot of you at Trader Joe's.
And this one's Emmy. I'm Haley. I had a gal once. I gotta tell this story because it's my favorite. I'm at Trader Joe's just shopping around, and she comes up to me. She goes, "Which one are you?" She didn't say hi or anything. Just like, "Which one are you?" And I was like, which one what? I didn't even know what she was talking about. She's like, which one of the Mavens are you? Anyway, it was so funny.
It's cute.
Yeah.
I actually love, like, we have clients from all over, not just from Southern Oregon, but I love it when we're in a store or somewhere and I get to meet somebody, because we're all online, and so we don't often get to meet a lot of our clients in person, and it's so fun, but there's never any judgment for what's in your cart.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Every single time I run into somebody, because I go to the grocery store a lot. I'm at Trader Joe's probably twice a week. Yeah. I'm at Costco a lot. Anyway, I always run into a client or somebody who recognizes us, and they're always like, "Don't look at my cart. This isn't for me. This is for my kids." I'm like, "Girl or dude, I'm not looking in your cart." Like, and even if we're looking in your cart, zero shame. Like, that is not what we are about. And I only bring that up because Emmy was caught last week? Maybe.
Yeah.
Last week we
a basket full of like every worst case scenario inflammatory food.
She had canola oil in her cart, which is like, I mean,
the worst possible seed
She
oil.
might as well have gotten struck by lightning on her way out of the store.
Might as well just drank motor oil.
Well, anyway, we did an interview for a news broadcast up in Portland, and so we were talking about inflammatory foods. So she went down and took care of purchasing a bunch of things, and she ran into somebody there, and so she was like, had to get online and tell everybody.
Well, it's so funny because I ate my own words, but it was literally a basket full of like cookies, inflammatory foods, like or seed oils and sugar and like soda pop and who knows what
packaged
else is in
stuff.
there. Yeah.
Anyway, if you run into us, we will not. In fact, we will make a pact right now. We won't even look in your cart if we see you at the grocery store.
Now, I've also had the privilege of getting to grocery shop with some of you guys. Like, hey, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about this? That's so fun. So anyways, we do have tools for that on our website, macromavens.life. If you go to the toolbox, we update it from time to time. We are due to update it again, but we have one that is our favorite shopping list, and they're for stores that are in most places. So things like Costco, Trader Joe's, Fred Meyer. I think Natural Grocers may be on there.
Fred Meyer is the same as Kroger, if you have a Kroger where you're at.
Yeah, and it's just some of our top favorite things that can help you in hitting your macros from each of those places. And then we always have favorites from clients too. So anyways, all of this is to say that today, day after Halloween, if you got off course yesterday, just leave it in the past, start fresh today. Don't try to overeat, don't try to undereat, whatever it may be, just jump right back in, especially if you're tracking. Also, going into the holidays, like set yourself up for success. We're going to go in next into knowing your why, which can really help you, but
wait, let's talk about heading into the holidays.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
I wasn't ready for you to move on. Were you going to move on?
Yeah, well, I was transitioning.
No, I'm not ready.
Okay, sounds good.
Because we just talked about, well, maybe we've talked about it all, but I think that heading into the holidays, I guess we did talk about, like, there's stuff available, but this is classic us, you guys. Or me. Classic me. Anyway, just prep for it. I guess that's all I need to say.
Yeah, I think that having things on hand, making sure, and we're going to go into some of these specifically, but making sure you're staying hydrated, making sure you're pre-tracking, making sure if you are going to fit something in that you've tracked it and that you work around it. If you're going to an event or something, knowing what's going to be there, doing a little bit of planning, volunteering to bringing something for the potluck that is going to be nutrient dense and helpful, really focusing on how you're feeling and using that to explain to people why you might not be indulging in whatever it is that they brought, because you're trying to figure out what helps you feel your best.
Go ahead.
No, go for it.
Sometimes I have to interrupt or I don't get to talk. Also, just a little tidbit for you, like if you want to go in armed, let's say you're going to a party, like one way to get around like the craving for sugar and carbs is to start your meals or your snacks or whatever by eating something that is high in protein and fat.
Yeah.
So like if you know you're going to a party and you're going to be tempted to eat, I don't know, let's say an amazing chocolate cake. If you eat protein coupled with some good quality fats first, you're much less likely to overindulge in the sweets that are there. It helps to keep your blood sugar balanced when you start your meals with protein and fats and starting off with something that's really heavy in carbs. Same with like if you're going to have a snack, try to have a protein rich snack. Almonds is a great idea because they're packed with good clean fats and protein. Or like an apple with peanut butter, like instead of just having a plain apple, like couple it with something that has a little bit of fat in it, like peanut butter or almond butter. Anyway, just be smart about it. Try to keep your blood sugar levels balanced, and the best way to do that, especially going into a meal or a situation where you're going to be tempted with something that's higher in carbs and something that's kind of sugary, is to start with protein and fat.
Yeah, and there's some really easy swaps that you can do. Like if you have some holiday favorites, and they don't serve you well, you don't feel good after eating them, just take a couple minutes to find something that might be like a good swap. Coach Emily does a lot of our recipes on our Instagram page, and she did one this last week for like a delicious buffalo chicken dip that's the macros are completely different on it than what you would typically find, and it's delicious. So there's so many swaps, and like Haley said, like even outside of the holidays, for just general meals, starting your plate with your protein and your fat is going to allow for that satiation and that blood sugar balance, and you're not going to get those spikes. There's so many fun research graphs that we can look at that show the difference eating the same plate, but just shifting the order a little bit or shifting the contents a little bit in terms of those glucose spikes that you're going to get, because you don't want to get the spike. It's going to be followed by the crash. And so there's just some really simple little things that you can do to help avoid that.
Yeah. Always just think of protein first. Just start with protein. Protein's queen, so you should start with it. Start your meals by eating it.
I was going to try to come up with
sentence.
Okay, let's shift into your
Let's shift.
why.
It's time to shift now.
Let's shift. She says it's time.
It's time. I'm content with the amount
Okay.
of information we gave on that.
Okay, so this is a tip I think for this season too, because for whatever reason, when you look statistically, I should actually look at the current statistics. My data on this is probably a couple years old, but looking at the amount of weight a lot of people gain in the fourth quarter of the year, and
That's right now. We're in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
When I hear that, I think of like a football game. I don't ever think about like what quarter we're in, like in the year.
You can tell how much she does with like budget and finance. No,
Yeah, that's exactly what you can tell. Not much, and I don't care to.
October, November, December is the fourth quarter of the year. So it's the last 3 months of the year. 3 divided by 12 is 4. There's 4 quarters.
Wow, public math. I don't do that either.
Okay. Anyways, the amount of weight that oftentimes people gain in the fourth quarter, the last 3 months of the year, it's pretty incredible. And oftentimes that is just due to those comforts, right? Traditions, comforts. Oftentimes people are outside less, they're moving less, they're not working in their yard as much, they're not staying as hydrated. It's all the things that can naturally come with winter. In years past, that sometimes people would really try to almost go into hibernation mode, where they would put on that winter fat and then they would shed it again. There's no reason in common day society that we need to do that.
No.
So it's just setting yourselves up once again. And a really important thing to do before we like go into the season is establish your why. Because if you don't know your why and you can't remind yourself of your why, then oftentimes when motivation is fleeting and discipline has to kick in, if you don't have your why to look to, your discipline's going to be fleeting too.
Yeah, no, that's super important. Also, when you do know your why, like you need to remind yourself of it constantly, not just like once a week, but like when you have a goal. And that's what we mean when we say like, what is your why? Like, what is your goal? Do you have a goal for the end of the year? Are you, whether it's like a weight loss goal, or maybe it's you want to put on X amount of pounds of muscle, or depending on whatever your goal is, that's your why. And so let's just take, for example, my son. God bless him.
I'm like,
I love him. And we were talking about this the other day. I have a why for him that is a little bit different than his when it comes to school and his grades, right? And so regardless of what your goal is, it can be something like that, like your grades, or maybe it is, like I said earlier, a weight loss goal or something like that. Whatever your why is, maybe it's you want to be able to move more so that you can keep up with your grandkids or your own kids. Whatever that why is, there has to be action behind it, because hope is not a strategy. You can hope all you want to get good grades, but if you're not going to work for it, then you won't get there. Same with like weight loss. I'm coming. If you hope to like make the right decision, I hope I make the right choices. I hope I lose weight. That's not going to get you to your goal. It's not going to get you to your why. You have to have action behind it. Yeah. And the best way to do that is to have a plan. And sometimes that plan includes hiring a coach. We have a lot of people who come to us and they're not quite sure what their why is. Yeah. And when we finally are able to break down, like, what is your goal? What are you here for? Why do you want to feel better? What is the purpose of you hiring us for? Then we can set a plan in motion, and then it's like, okay, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3. These are the steps it's going to take to get you to your why. And then when you get there, we'll reevaluate and we'll set up a whole new set of goals. But you can't have a set of goals and expect to meet them without putting action behind it and a plan in place. I just think that is like And it's simple. Like you just work backwards. If my goal is X, then I need to do A, B, C, and D to get to X. And you just work backwards from your goal. If your goal is fat loss, if your goal is putting on muscle, if your goal is feeling more energetic than you ever had through the holidays, like there are things that you can do to get there. You just have to implement the plan and then take action on it. So,
and I think that breaking it down too, because oftentimes I've had a lot of clients and a lot of friends who actually are, most of them are now clients, who have this huge, hairy, audacious goal, right? What is that called? A BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. I like BHAGs. Anyways.
I just don't want to be a hag.
Yeah, exactly. Have a BHAG, but don't be a BHAG.
Yeah.
So, I like some of these handles that are on here. Anyways, so
Squirrel.
If you try to do too many things at once, statistically, the likelihood of you actually completing all of those things goes down with each extra thing you add. And that's why with our clients, and we suggest for anybody, you have to start with the basics, right? So you need to be hydrated. You need to understand food and start fueling yourself in a strategic way. And then we start with, what does your movement look like? What does your sleep look like? What does your supplementation look like? And all of those things can compound on themselves over time. But if on day one, you're going to work out twice a day, you're only going to eat X amount of calories, you're going to drink a gallon of water, you're going to sleep X amount, like the likelihood of you actually having sustainability and having the discipline to continue to do that is pretty slim. And so we want to create a lifestyle shift. And we want you to create a lifestyle shift that over time, it just becomes habit in these things that you're starting to form, so that you have a sustainable lifestyle where you truly feel your best and you can easily maintain that. Because when you know your why, and yeah, it's a goal, I think sometimes it's a feeling too, you know, like I think, and Haley used this as one of her examples, but like being able to wake up and have energy and have no joint pain and have hope, like going into your day, there's a lot of people that don't have that. Like if you're waking up with pain, if you're waking up not refreshed, if you're hitting a lull in the middle of your afternoon, if you're like always wanting to just chill on the couch, which if that's restoration for you, that's fantastic. But if you're not like moving your body and wanting to move your body and like looking towards things, then you don't have as much hope as maybe you could. And it doesn't all have to be physical. Like those things translate over. It's amazing when people start feeling better, the goals in the other areas of their life that they start to establish. Yeah. And it's contagious. We have a tool on the toolbox of our website. It's like joy strategizing, and it takes you through step by step, because when you start finding joy in some of those things, like it spreads across your life and it's powerful.
And it creates motivation. We talk about being disciplined before being motivated. Like motivation is so fleeting, but when you find something that works and that makes you feel better, it automatically instills a little bit of motivation. Now, you can use that motivation, and we suggest that you do. Like as soon as you feel motivated for something, like take that power and use it. But on the days when you don't feel it, like sometimes you have to create it yourself. And sometimes all it takes is, let's say it's exercise. Like you want to exercise several days a week and you want to do it early in the morning. Well, I will tell you, I've exercised at 5 a.m. for years. And when that alarm goes off, I don't want to do it. Like I am not motivated to do it at all. However, I still get up and do it because I'm disciplined. And what ends up happening, and this is the cool part, at the end of my workout, I'm so thankful that I got up and I exercised, and that motivates me to do it the next day. Now, even though I won't feel motivated the next morning when my alarm goes off, I know I won't. I have to be disciplined, but I can still take some power from the motivation I had the day before after I was done working out, being like, man, I know I'm going to feel so much better after I move my body this morning, and take that little bit of motivation from the day before and apply it to the current situation. You can do that. That's your phone. So anyway, discipline over motivation. It's kind of the key, and it helps to push us beyond into the next level.
And I would say, like, as we were saying that, if you had something that came to mind, like if you are sitting there and you don't know your why, please allow yourself to explore that. Like, what is it in this season of life that excites you, that would have you feeling good, that would have you feel like you are moving towards the best version of yourself that you can be, whatever that may be. Like, let's go back to like the physical. Is it that you want to be able to say yes when somebody asks you to do anything physical, to go on a hike, to go on a bike ride, to do whatever, and to not feel winded? Is it that you want to do X amount of pull-ups, or that you want to feel good in your own skin on this upcoming trip, or whatever it may be? Is it that you want to be more comfortable socially? Is it that you want to, you know, make an investment this next year in X, Y, and Z? Like, it can be finance, it can be social, it can be physical. Like, there's so many different things. They all feed off of each other, but write it down. Like, please, like, think through it. It can be more than one, but write it down. Mm-hmm. And then, especially if you have a specific goal, put it around your house. Like, that might seem silly, but it's so motivating. If it's on your bathroom mirror in the morning, if it's on your refrigerator, if it's on the dashboard of your car, like, wherever it may be, it's a constant reminder, like, okay, this is why I'm going to make sure that I have the food that I need that serves me in my fridge. This is why I'm going to make sure I fill up my water bottle before I leave my house, because I need to be sipping on that throughout the day. This is why I'm going to, you know, go in, and every hour my phone's going to buzz at me and it's going to remind me to stand up and do 10 jumping jacks or whatever it may be. Like, those little habits that just get your body moving, like, get it in front of your face. Know what it is and get it in front of your face, and then do it.
And then just do it.
I
had something profound to say.
Oh, and I was blabbing.
No, well, yeah, I did get a little distracted by somebody walking by, but what was it? Oh, sometimes you have to work backwards too. I think that sometimes people have a hard time being like, well, I don't know what my why is. Well, what are the pain points in your life?
Yeah.
Like, what are the frustrations? Like, do you wake up with like joint pain, or do you constantly have a sore back, or do you sleep poorly? Like, sometimes you have to work backwards from like some negative things that you have in your life, and you just have to take that negative thing and you're going to spin it, right? So let's say I wake up every day with joint pain, and that's something that I want to change. Well, then maybe my why then becomes, I want to wake up without any joint pain. I want to feel good in the morning when I wake up. I want to be energized when my feet hit the floor. I don't want to need caffeine. I just want to hit the ground running. Like, maybe that's your why. So find your pain point, spin it, and turn that into your why.
Yeah. I don't want to be moody. I want more libido. I want to have the energy to do X, Y, and Z with my kids at night. Like, those are real things, guys, that are life-changing.
You've mentioned libido twice today.
Oh.
We did, actually. We had we've had several, actually, but recently we had a client comment about feeling like this is a female client. It was like, I feel like a teenage boy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, getting your nutrition on track oftentimes helps your libido, which is a wonderful thing.
Oh, no. Our sound isn't working.
Oh, great. Is it tied?
Probably because we got that
phone call.
Well, bummer.
Well,
okay.
The sound should be working on Facebook, which is the one that we will upload to YouTube. Sounds like we lost sound over on Insta. You can probably restart it if you want.
Possibly. Okay. Well, I'm so sorry. Well, we're going to wrap up here in just a second anyways. I don't think there's anything I can do about the sound.
Unless you restart the live.
Okay, I'll restart the live, and then we'll just post this first half.
Sorry, guys. I got a text message from my contractor who needs me to reply. But anyway, so that is about the why. What was the last thing we were going to talk about?
Getting outside.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
So
let you do that.
That's fine. I can do that. So it is November 1st, and if you live in the Southern Oregon area, it started raining last night, and then this morning when I was coming home from the gym at like 6 a.m., it was snowing. Actually, it was like 7. It was snowing so hard at my house. I only live at like 2,200 feet in elevation, but when I left to meet Emmy in town, I had a couple inches of snow on the ground, and it was still snowing really hard. So we are coming into the winter months when the weather isn't always predictable depending on where you live, and oftentimes it's raining, it's cold, maybe it's snowing, and it's wet, and it's not super motivating, there's that word again, to get outside and move your body. However, there are so many benefits to getting outside, whether it's raining or snowing or foggy, or maybe it is even dark where you're at early in the morning or early in the evening. But getting outside and getting out into nature or just a walk around your neighborhood is so beneficial. It is so good for your brain, not to mention all of the benefits of moving your body that are physically good for you. But your brain, oftentimes Emmy and I will be working and I get really sluggish when I'm sitting in front of my computer all day long, and she can always tell. She's like, oh my gosh, you've got to get outside and move. And honestly, sometimes we do our best work when we need to talk to each other or hash something out when we go outside and move our bodies and we're just walking. Like, you don't have to climb a mountain. Just get outside and go for a walk. I think I said it earlier, maybe I said it on here, that there's no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear. Like, get yourself a rain jacket, get an umbrella. There's no reason why you can't go outside and
Don't
walk.
be afraid to walk in the rain.
No, like, nobody's gonna melt. We're not witches.
It's actually quite lovely.
Was it the Wicked Witch of the West on Wizard of Oz who, I'm melting,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
melting. I've never seen that happen in real life.
I used to not walk as much in the winter, and I love walking. And honestly, I've actually come to really like walking in the rain.
Yeah.
Like, there's something so peaceful about it.
Yeah, and usually there's not very many people out, and so you can really enjoy like some peace and quiet. And I don't know, I love it when it rains. It's like a reset for the earth. And so get outside, move your body, even if it's raining. We had a challenge where we challenged our clients to move for 15 minutes outside every day this month, and we had several who completed it. And man, it was so fun to see how creative people got, going for walks with their kids, going to waterfalls, lakes, taking their dogs for walks, riding skateboards, playing on playgrounds. Like, just do it. Get outside, move your body. There's no reason not to.
And back.
And it is beautiful. It is fall. I don't know where
It
you guys
is.
live, but like, we're sitting in this, I live in a little historic town called Jacksonville, and the trees are gorgeous right now. They are like on fire. They're red and yellow. And anyway.
If you live in Southern Oregon and you have an opportunity to go to the Upper Rogue
Oh
right
my
now,
gosh.
the leaves are just so incredible. Or if you can go to Lithia Park in Ashland, or if you can walk through Jacksonville, I mean, really any area. But there's something to, there's so much research too about what happens to our bodies and our brains when we actually get outside in nature and have that fresh air and have the sun hit our skin. Like, it's so powerful. And so let's do a quick wrap, because we're kind of been all over the board today. We so appreciate you guys joining us, but you know, it's that time of year where a lot of people get into a slump, and we don't, not only do we not have to get into a slump, but we can make a ton of progress this time of year. We can feel good, we can fuel our bodies, we can get good sleep, we can have good energy, we can have harmonious hormones. Harmonious hormones. And really, it just comes down to setting yourself up for success. Know your why. Make sure you plaster it all over. And if you need a coach in your corner for whatever it is you're trying to achieve, like, have that, because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There are so many small things that you can do to be successful. And so make sure that you are drinking your water. Make sure that you are getting yourself to bed at a decent time. Make sure you have a good plan for your nutrition. Nutrition is so fundamental.
It is the fundamental.
It is. And by that, like, understanding what
Foundation.
your body needs, making sure that you're actually eating enough, making sure that you are within a balance, and that you are, you know, getting the right kind of carbohydrates for energy, the right kind of fats for hormone balance, and protein for, you know, preserving your muscle and having your brain work its best. Like, it's just so important. So anyways, if you guys have questions, if you want to reach out, if you're interested in coaching, we are always here. We have an amazing group of coaches. We no longer have technically you could sign up before 5 p.m. today for group coaching, but
That's only a few hours away.
I know. So we start our first group coaching tonight, but we always are doing one-on-one coaching. If you go to our website, macromavens.life, click the hop on board
Hey,
button.
we should write a song.
Ooh. Macromavens.life. Click on the button. Have a laugh. Don't stress. We're here to have some. Sorry, guys.
Anyway. I knew I only had to say, like, we should write a song for it to happen.
Anyways, drop us a question if you have one. Feel free to put it in the comments. You can DM us. You can go over to our website, macromavens.life, send us a message. If you're interested in coaching, we always offer a free consult. You just fill out the hop on board. A coach will be in contact, answer questions, see if we're a good fit, doesn't commit you to anything. And gosh, guys, let's make this holiday season one where we feel good.
Yeah, you might as well hire a coach now, because the first of the year
Might
is
as
coming.
well.
So why wait? It's silly to wait till the first of the year.
And we've got some really fun stuff coming, some tools, some giveaways.
man.
And stay tuned, because here in just a bit, we're going to give our giveaway for sharing our group coaching.
That's
$200
right.
Visa cash card coming your way.
Boom. Yeah. Have a good week,
great day,
guys.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.